Just give me a second, guys. How's everyone? I am working my way through my certification course. I got quite a few that I'm working on right now. Always. What I try to do is continuing education credits. Um, I am certified in as a meditation teacher. Hey, Savage Batman, my friend, how are you? Welcome. It's always nice to see you. See, I'm a certified meditation teacher through the Chopra Institute. Um, the most meaningful form of meditation for me that I learned was primordial sound meditation, and that's what I wanted to teach. Savage says, "I'm good. How are you?" I'm good. So after I was a caregiver for my father, I had an all-important question after he passed away. All-important question to ask myself: what does a caregiver do when a person they're caring for is no longer with them? What do I do? I was a caregiver for my mom. She passed away. I was a caregiver for my father. He passed away. Jace, my friend, how are you? So what do I do now? And here was the answer.
This is for my...
Sorry. Here was the answer for me. I continue to care. However, now it's not focused on one person. It is focused on anyone that comes into the sphere of my awareness. If I'm aware of you, I care about you, and I will do what I can. Let's see. Hey, Natural Life, my friend, how are you? Dan, how you doing, Dan? You are fully back into the Navy SEALs, taking no prisoners again, it looks like. One of the most invaluable tools that I had. I was going to say most especially with my dad, but I think maybe even more so with my mom. When you're dealing with someone with dementia in any form, you need infinite patience. And you need to remind yourself and remind them that you see them, that you see past and through the dementia to the soul, the spirit, the love, the mother, for me, in my case, that held you as a baby, that you look past the dementia, you look past the condition, and you connect to that love again. That is the nature of forgiveness as well. You look past the surface stuff, you look past the grievances, you look past the resentment, the grudges, the pettiness, and you see straight to the spirit, that spirit of Namaste, the divinity within me, salutes and recognizes the divinity within you. Arjun Gamer says, I don't know what he says. I'll be honest with you, but I bet you it's something good. So thank you. Foreman says, doing good, man. Deep tissue work and helped upper back. So how are you getting that done? Are you going to see someone, Dan? Hey, Sniper. Greeting beautiful souls from across the pond, but under the same skies. Welcome. Thank you, Batman. Savage Batman says, I'd like to share the stream. Very much appreciated. So, yeah, I think the patience that I gained from meditation definitely paid off with my mom as a caregiver. The importance, especially, I think, the practice of A Course in Miracles. Because I had a contentious relationship with my mom. We never saw eye to eye. I know she loved me. I know she cared about me. I'm not sure she liked me. And sadly, I'm not sure I always liked my mom either. I loved my mom. I cared about my mom. But that's the kind of relationship we had. But when she... Hey, Cat and Jack. When she... Abe, comment, Padlo. Don't know what that means. Hey, Vamps. But when she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, she gave me a look like, we got to put everything behind us. I need you. And I was happy to step up. I talk about the 3 great things I've done in my life. None of them are accomplishments that I could hang on my wall. They're not even accomplishments. They are stepping up as a human and as a spiritual being. Caring for my mom during Alzheimer's, caring for my stepdaughter when Mocha went to Iraq, served a tour 2008, 2007, and stepping up and being a caregiver for my father. Poor man says, my mom has Alzheimer's. I'm sorry, poor man. I know how hard that is. Hey, reach out, because I've been there. I have been there. I was a caregiver for my mom with my dad for close to a decade. I learned how to talk to and with my mom. More importantly, I learned how to listen to my mom. Alzheimer's is a condition. It is a brain condition, but it's not who your mom is. Your mom is still and always your mom. And you can see that. You can learn to see through the condition, through the dementia, and you can see your mom. Your mom is still aware. But what she is aware of now is muddled and confused. You got to reach through that and keep assuring her and assuring her and assuring her that you see her, that you hold her, that you recognize her. Hey, Travel and Foods. Let's see. Tuyapa refers to acts or behavior that are foolish, nonsensical, absurd. It can also be used to describe a situation that is frustrating or ridiculous. A friend here may be crying for some help. Well, we may not be able to understand you, my friend, but we can sit with you. We can hold space for you. Thank you, Sniper. Travel and Food says, Vamps, hello. Poor man says it's a terrible disease. It is a terrible disease, but you know what? My mom became, at the time, my greatest spiritual teacher. My greatest teacher on how to be a kind, caring, compassionate human being. Because I had to. Up until she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, I could be as petty and resentful, holding grudges as the best of them, even when I knew better. Decade more of spiritual practice, I was aware of my pettiness, but I couldn't make any meaningful changes with it. Sometimes being aware is enough. Sometimes it isn't. However, when I was given that situation, that opportunity to lay it all aside, there was no time to be petty. There was no time for hold a grievance. There was no time to be resentful. I can't believe my mom snapped at me when I was 9 years old over something I didn't even have any control of, and still thinking about that when I was 40. How ridiculous is that? Alzheimer's gave me the opportunity to grow up, because that meant I had to stop thinking about myself. Even when I thought I was making all of these great spiritual progress, because I could sit longer in meditation, I could reach greater depths of contemplation, that I understood passages in the Bhagavad Gita. Big freaking deal. I was only marginally kinder until I had to be. Now, all that practice before me led me to that point. Had I not been doing that practice, I don't know if I could have stepped into that role, the person that I was meant to be. Maybe it would have taken another decade until it was time to do the same thing with my father, different conditions. Hey, Tandra, my friend. Savage says, still here? Just trying to grow my channel. How can we help you, Savage Batman? How can we help you grow your channel? Let us know. I'll do what I can for you. Poor man says non-existent relationship with dad, and he kept mom estranged for years. Just made the whole situation even more miserable. I bet. So poor man, what can you do? What can you make the situation less miserable, more tolerable? When I talk about forgiveness, a lot of people think I'm not ready to forgive this other person yet. Understandable. But that's not the kind of forgiveness we're talking about. We're talking about a quantum level forgiveness in which we realize in this moment the past doesn't exist. We're stepping into the present moment. Poor man says, all I can do is go visit the home, but she doesn't recognize. Hey, don't be so sure that she doesn't recognize. The language is different. The language is muddled and confused. The thoughts are muddled and confused. But the awareness of who your mom is still there and still present. And she is aware of you. She is aware of who you are. And she is aware of what's going on. She can't tell you that. She can't express it. But you can. You can look her in the eye and say, I see you. And I love you. And I hold you. And if there's anything that needs to be forgiven, you can look at her in the eye and say, we are forgiven. You and I together. We are already forgiven. You can love your mom, and that's enough. It's good to say, hi Eric, hey chat. Much love to you all. Hope you all having a super amazing day. Thank you. Arjun Gamer says, I am from India. I thought as much, my friend. Welcome. Kat says, Pia took care of an elderly patient with dementia for 5 years. He was the sweetest person I ever met and looked at me with such love it was almost unbearable because he saw you. It's amazing. Thanks for sharing that, Kat. Semper says it's a full reset on that quantum level, like you said. It's like an awareness that once you seen, can't be unseen. It's what is you. Man, that was beautifully said. Thank you for that, Sniper. Jace says, Skits buddy, hiya. Hey, Jace, are you going live in a little bit? Tanya says, poor man, that happened to me. She talked about me, although she didn't think I was me, if you know what I mean. She still thought about me. Absolutely. I remember you shared that once with me. We were talking about a similar subject. Man, the lessons that I learned from my mom allowed me to be a better caregiver for my father. The lessons I learned from my father allowed me to be a better human being. A whole lot of spiritual nonsense dropped away when you realize the importance of simply being kind, of offering love to everyone, the unconditionality of love. It's not about I will love you as long as, I will love you because, I will love you for. It's simply about I love you. This is why I love the 4 phrases of Ho'oponopono. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It's between you and divinity. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. You're not asking for forgiveness for yourself or for others. You're simply saying, I am aware that I am part of this. Yep, definitely nonsense. For me, spiritual nonsense. Spiritual nonsense of, again, how long can I hold a yoga asana? Can I master a particular breath work? Can I enter the highest stage of samadhi, bliss consciousness? All good and wonderful things. But if it doesn't help me be kind, if it didn't make me a better caregiver for my mom, for my dad, if it didn't allow me to have the patience to hold them both when they needed to be held, and I might not feel like it. I might have been on 2 hours worth of sleep. I might have not been feeling well. I might have been whatever, but could I step up and do what needed to be done? So I don't mean nonsense in a bad way, as just things that end up being a distraction to what really matters. Can I live a life of love, forgiveness, and gratitude? At this point in my life, nothing else matters. Love, forgiveness, gratitude. Everything else for me at this point is what I would call spiritual nonsense. It's still interesting, but it doesn't help me love you any better, does it? And that's what I'm interested in. Stuart says, anyone want to do a split screen live stream with me? Sislo to Goldie. Tanya says, it's less stress. I didn't know that at the time. Says, oh, I'm sorry, I missed this. Poor man's Jim, I have learned that afterwards for your mom, it's best to agree with what she says. She will say it over and over and not remember. That's what I meant, that my mom taught me infinite patience. Why did we get rid of amps? Comment. Delete. Poor man says, okay, Stuart, how many seals? Skid says, Jace will Stuart, but you have to do his workout. Skid says, hope you well, Stuart, brother. Arjunite says, where are you from? I am from the United States, on the East Coast, in the state of Maryland. Jace says, get your leotard still? I'm coming up at 6:45. What would you do if Jace showed up in your live, or if Stuart showed up at your live stream, actually in a leotard and leg warmers? What would you do, Stuart or Jace? Gotcha, Stuart. Yeah, that happens. Vamp says, who are Arjun? Sampa says Stuart has fat thumbs. It's probably the fattest part of my body. That and my toes. Stuart says, I'm not doing Jace's workout. Vamp says, don't worry about it, Stuart. If it happens again, I'll come in with Walking with Goldie. Hey, the next collab you do with Jesse, I would love to see Jesse do your workout, Jace. Poor man says, I was watching Leo throw that 120-pound bar over his head like it was nothing. Guy full of surprises, crazy shoulder strength. I wonder if that's a lot from his boxing days. Vamp says, I'm from Transylvania, Romania. To Arjun. So, Stuart, I think you should go back to the start, where the first started, and then you'll be like Jace by next year. It's a good idea. I mentioned that to someone earlier today. Jace says, if I'm honest, I just take Stu through a very gentle workout, nice and easy. It's not a bad idea. Arjuna says, Vamps, give me your Instagram ID. I don't think she's on Instagram. As a matter of fact, I'm almost positive she isn't. Stuart says, Jesse is a big girl's blouse. I'm not sure what that means. Kat says, if Stu showed up in a leotard, I'd donate $100 to Jace or Stu. I'm not I'm not sure which. You can split it 50. Stuart says Cat and Jack. Jace says Leo's training. He said he wants to press me over his head. He already can. So what do you weigh, Jace? 145? And he was throwing up the 120-pound bar? Ram says, Arjan, there's no way you will trick me to do that. I share my personal info only with a select few. Poor man says, hardest part about working out is just getting started. That's true. Bam says, Eric McCarty, I am. It's synced with my Facebook, but I'm sharing it far and wide. Gotcha. 145 with a shave. With a shave, 144 if he flosses his teeth. 143 if he cleans out his belly button. 142 if he cuts his toenails and his fingernails, picks his nose, spits a few times, cleans out the ears. I'm not. Gotcha. She mentioned where she was from up ahead, up top, Anjan. Stuart says, back to the original question. Does anyone want to live stream with me? He's being serious. Hey, let me take a moment that Stuart could use some company on a live stream. Jay says, Stu, if you fancy it, 36 exercises is 25 reps with a shirt transition. It takes an hour, flat out. You're more than welcome. With a short transition. It's a good question. What was Jason's weight difference on average before he started his workout? It might actually be the same, but the body composition has changed dramatically. Even in the past month, you can see a dramatic change. And he looked good a month ago, but he's gained this a certain solid look over the last month and a half. Let's see, we got something viewed. John Gamer says, you are male and female. Interesting. I don't know what to say to that. I can make a joke about it. It's too much energy. Stuart says, nope to exercise. So again, on a serious note, Stuart could use some company. Jace says, my weight is exactly the same, which is pretty amazing because that meant that Jace, he talks about having a pot belly when he started. It meant that Jace shed fat and gained muscle at the exact same time, which is no easy thing to do. Sorry, guys. You don't have to time anyone out. Arjan, a pretty definitive statement. He didn't ask if I was. Skid says, go on, Stu. I dare you, bro. This says, let me get that live done, get some food, and I'm there for you, Stu. Sniper says, yes, Arjan Gamer. 47, we all have nipples. Fact. Some have more than others. Stuart says, thank you, Jace, my brother. Vamp says, cooking my comfort food. Eric McCarty knows what it is. I do know what it is. Skid says, sorry, not sorry. Jesus Zajan, you're better than that, bro. 628 subs would be could be more, but being offensive won't help. Excellent point. Excellent point. Sampa says we all start out as a female, then the males become a male and the females remain. Hey, Danny. How are you, my friend? I haven't seen you for a few days. Welcome back. Hey, Songhill. Hey, did I miss you come in earlier? I apologize. There it is. Songhill says hello. So I don't know if everyone appreciates how difficult it is to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. And here's something even more impressive. Jace came by this intuitively. Let's see, our friend Arjun says, my goal is 100K. We can help you get there. Well, we could be a small help in getting you there. There you go. Subscribe to you, my friend. Hey, Easy. Easy says, good afternoon, Eric. Nice to see you. Stuart says, so here's a question. Did Adam and Eve have belly buttons? Yes, but only for decorative purposes. Skid says, squirrels who are all big girls. Jace says, Arjan, we are here to help, but you must demonstrate your good nature. Thank you, Jace. Danny says, to forgive is a point that what happened we forget about. It's why it's nice to forgive one another. Nicely said, Danny. Hey, Richard. Richard says, hi, Eric. Yes, very challenging since muscle needs calories to go. And Jace didn't do any heavy resistance training. You know, he wasn't doing heavy barbell squats or deadlifts or bench. It was all body weight stuff. Stuart says, Skits, the answer is no, they didn't. How are you, Richard? When is and what is the next race? Stoop, nope, they did not. They had giant chocolate buttons. Skid says, I honestly do not think Adam and Eve were the first people on Earth. I believe in evolution. Jay says, Arjan, I'm connected too. Hey, are you guys subscribed to Richard Runs Trails, who happens to be a ultra runner extraordinaire? Danny's waving at Richards. Richard says, I'm good. I have 55 heart rate at the end of the month. 55 hour at the end of the month on a 1 mile loop. It's in Houston. I love time races and on short loops. Don't have to carry anything with you. Everything's laid out. What do you hope for in 55? Ajna says, bye guys. Good night. Good night, my friend. Jay says, take care. Jay says, I was full of beans. First 3 months, I totally winged it. I had no plan day to day. Just went with what I felt. They found my program and developed them some. Fine tune it. You were fine tuning it. Kat says, so Richard, I hate running. I'd rather go on a calm adventure. I do like my calm adventures. Richard says, it's fun since you meet everyone. I wish you 150. How's everything feeling? Skid says, you winged it well, Jace brother. Tandra says, I'm here, but listening and eating. That reminds me that I need to start Tandra over again. Her Mercy Tunnel loop is over. Let's see what I want to bring up for the day. I'm going to bring up yesterday's Ho Ho Ho, as that'll take me through the next 5 hours. Richard says he's good. Awesome. So last year, probably around February, when I really started thinking about being able to get my channel monetized. And in a live stream, I said I think I had maybe close to 1,000 watch hours, and I didn't know how I was going to get it. And our friend Richard Runtrill said, I can help. I can run you on several devices. And over the course of a few days, I started seeing my channel grow, my watch hours grow. And I realized the power of connection on YouTube, how you can help other people do the same thing, just as Richard was helping me. And every day I saw those numbers grow, and I got more and more excited and more assured that I would be able to do it. So I owe a huge debt of gratitude to Richard, not just for helping me eventually get monetized, but realizing the importance on how to succeed on YouTube had everything to do with other people. Easy says, hey guys. Poor man says, did Paul out pull-up routine last night, Jace? Tanja says, thanks, Yogi. Absolutely. Jace says, skits, I sure did. Now I know what works, though. And man, does my plan get results. Oh, actually, it was Skits that I mentioned it to this morning on my kettlebell live stream. I recommended starting with Jace. Richard says the key is ask friends for help. Absolutely. 100%. And I did. After Richard, I asked a few more people for help. I met Goldie, walking with Goldie, and she stepped right in and started helping. As did lots of other people who I just met. And they said, I'll help. Skid says that's what being consistent and committed does, Jace. It gets you places. Also, you're a decentish guy. Only joking. You're a legend, brother. Song Ho is Sing How to Vamps, right? Danny's Waving at Nature. Man, I remember watching Poor Man do the 1,000 partial squats, and that looked like one of the more painful workouts I've seen. Richard says, friends help me. And you definitely paid it forward, Richard. But more than just paying it forward, you taught me. Skit says, weirdly normal, aren't we all? Well, I think some of us are just weirdly. I'll put myself in that category. Kat says, is it good to be normal in this world? I've always wondered. You know what? The normal don't look any happier, and the weird look like, at the very least, they're having a whole lot of fun. Jay says, the shorts are on, 10 minutes to go. Simply says, my client gave me a bottle of wine this evening for my wife, as I don't drink. It's a 2010 Monte Placina. Worth, is that 80 pounds? What a lovely day. Nice. It's a nice present. Easy says, Jace, you should do Spiritual Talk live stream. I want to see how you think about stuff. He actually does. He closes his a lot of his live streams with his message. Be kind. It's as spiritual as you ever need to be. Be kind. Format says, using 2 gas cans for a dip station. Works fairly well. You got that set up, poor man? Stuart says, say to poor man. Jace says, easy, that could be a good one. I'm not religious at all, but love is my guide. Sampi says, skits of some people live, hey? I thought 18 pounds was expensive for a bottle of wine. Hey, Bushka. Bushka says, say Yogi Eric. How are you, my friend? Sampi says, top weirdo present. We could alter the salutation as Nama weird. The weirdness in me, the weirdness within me salutes and recognizes the weirdness within you. This good Bushka Haya. This good says, school the other day I was browsing chest of drawers on Google and I saw one that said 20% off. It was, wow, 1,500. That is pounds, right? Am I saying that right? Here's a question. Does it taste any different to you? Would that more expensive wine taste any different to you than the 18? Dan says, got to clean out garage, dip station, map, pull-up bars, etc. Bushka says, Stuart, my favorite whisperer. Yes, pounds. Awesome. Let's see. Cat says, Nama weird to you, my friend. Someone could ask you, are you normal? And the answer would be, Nama weird. Let's see. Songa says, Vamps, you have a second channel? Enjoying Yogi's Live with it? And she says, yes. Walking with Goldie. Sorry, got to pay attention to my cat, who is insistent that I do. Which says hi to Vamps. And she's switching over to it. Hi, Carl. Carl, how are you? What's new with you? Jace says meow meow. You hear that, cat? She said meow back. Jace is saying hi to Carl. Carl says I've been down the last 2 days. What do you mean down? Excuse me, guys. Jace says see you all later. Have a great workout, Jace. I'm going to bring you up. So what do you mean you've been down, Carl? Cat says, Carl, what's up? Jason says, I heard that. She doesn't say hi to anyone. She doesn't say hi to just anyone. Goldie says hi there again, lovely people. Carl says I've been upset. Anything you want to talk about? This will be live in about 3 minutes. Chandra says, hey to Bushka. Sampa says, you'll taste the difference between 6 pounds and 18 pounds, and also a big difference between 18 pounds and 80 pounds, as it's quantity, the cheap and the expensive limited agent stock. Gotcha. Songa says, to Goldie, I didn't know you had a second channel. When you were live with Yogi, I was wondering if you were, if it was Vamps. It was her. So Vamps is Goldie's support channel. So she would tell you, no need to subscribe to Vamps. So, how are you, Goldie? And Carl, again, if you want to talk, we're here for you. Bushka says, hey to Tandra. So speaking of watch hours, I think Tandra is just days away from being halfway to the 3,000 mark. So then it's just going to be one big push. I bet you she had a whole lot of watch hours today from the live stream. It's about 6 hours, or the loop stream, I should say. As well, our friend Running Boy is probably like 800 or so away from hitting 3,000. So if you could play Running Boy's playlist, I have him up right now at channel number 2, or video number 2. Just checking in on Jace real quick. Tandra says 52 today if it doesn't change. Stuart says, hey to Carl. Goldie's just finished cooking. Carl says, hey to Stuart. Carl says, watch hours are done for me. So you're going to be monetized now, Carl? I see you got 185 subscribers, so it's definitely growing. Hey, Moskwa, my friend, how are you? Goldie says, I'll enjoy it after midnight since it's Wednesday. Bushka says, happy birthday, Tandra. Tandra, it's your birthday? Did I miss this? How did I not know this? Or did I forget it? Hey, Brian. Brian says, OG Yogi. Thanks for hanging out this morning on the kettlebell live stream, and on the earlier on the 5 a.m. live stream. Brian says, happy day. Moskva is tired but happy. Well, I'm glad you're happy. Tanya says, no, not today. Happy day for Brian. What's going on, Brian? Hey, I see you put up a long form video. Awesome. I just brought your video up. Our friend Brian is at 65 subscribers, guys. If you can keep helping him grow. He is at the beginning of a beautiful channel. Let's see. Brian says, you know what OG stands for? I'm gonna joke and say old guy, but old guard, original guard. I like old guy better. Brian says, they're just laying hands on the elderly and making them smile. Nice. That's the way to do it, Brian. Carl says, I'd be lost without my friend Shona. Well, I'm glad you have her. Tanya says, Bushka birthday. Tanya says, Bushka, I talked about JHK, who missed his birthday. Brian says, trying to get down to the river and toss a fly, but not looking so promising. Busy. Family stuff. Poor man says, definitely need to work on shoulder press. Something I've overlooked. Hey, you can do pike presses. Mike Tyson's. Hindu push-ups, work the shoulders a bit more. Kat says, Brian, did you go into Any Fitness Possibles live today? Meet a lot of people there. Oh, Original Godsend. Nice. I like that. Says, yes, man, babies and such. Hey, Brian, you definitely need to reach out to Any Fitness Possible. Be part of that fishing community. Brian says, yeah, man, babies and such. So I'm leaving your channel up as soon as I'm done the live stream. I want to watch your longer video. Start getting you some watch hours. Brian says, I have a hidden skill I'm going to reveal today. Juggling. Axe throwing. Ninja stars. Tightrope walking. Bushka says, okay, Tandra, sorry it's not your birthday today. Hey, Sean. Sean says, hey, Eric, you're lucky you guys got sun. We have to have our lights out on days because we're barely have any lights coming in the house because it's cloudy with rain and muggy here. I'm sorry to hear that, Sean. Sean, how are you? Songa says, nice, enjoy Goldie. Brian says, dang, thanks, Eric. Oh, sure, absolutely. Brian says, way better. Way better than axe throwing? Let me think. Tarot card reader? Telephone psychic? Let's see. Stuart says, I have scheduled it for 7:30. Hope you can join too, Yogi Brother. I'm trying to figure out 7:30 my time. That would be 2:30. At the very least, I'll have it up for sure. Brian says, on a bicycle. Former ballet on a bicycle. Wow. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Sean says, I'm fine, just not my parents. Yeah, I bet. It's a hard time for him, Sean. Sending prayers out to your parents and to you. Carl says I've only 75 watch hours. We can help with that, Carl. Brian says we're not allowed to do such things as that. Gotcha. The Bible tells me so. In yoga, they talk about being able to, that you develop those powers through psychic powers, through the concentration effort of meditation. But they discourage the development of it because it's a dead end. It doesn't lead to awakening. It doesn't awaken your heart center to infinite love. It becomes a distraction. Brian says, Stuart, cheers, mate. Last day of school for the break. How long of a break do you have, Moskva? Goldie says, that's your earlier question, Eric McCarty. I started my treatment and hoping for the best. Prayers. Prayers, Goldie. I have no doubt that the best will occur. Brian says I can watch soothsayers and oracles, but not participate. Gotcha. Moskva says I don't remember. Well, I hope you have a good break. Relaxing and fun. And restful at the same time. So, Brian, excuse me, when did we see the bicycle ballet? Goldie says, basically vitamin A and E, 1 capsule a day for 10 days, then 20-day break, and again for 3 months. Brian's going to make the video now. Awesome. Hey, it looks like maybe I'm mistaken. Give me a second. I was going to say, it looks like Anything is Possible is still up. Brian? If you wanted to hop in. Brian will post it around 6 p.m. Awesome. I'll be looking for it. Carl says I'm canceling my holidays. How come, Carl? Semper says, good to see you, Moskva, Brian, and Sean. So at 2:30, 7:30 Great Britain time, Stuart said he's going to be live streaming. He's going to have a panel up. Anyone can join him. Excuse me. Still coughing, guys. Hey, Eve. How are you, my friend? It was good seeing you over at Goga's. Goldie says, I hope we can go Carolyn this year. I hope so. Semper says hi to Carl. Eve says, so Yogi, how you doing? I'm doing good, Eve. Still slightly under the weather. Like just a lingering cough. But good. All things considered. Easy says, been studying Jesus a lot, Eric, and what he says in the Sermon on the Mount. Do you think he was a normal human, or do you think he was directly connected to something beyond? I think that he was directly connected. He was divinity awake. He awoke to his own divinity within the Father, within the source, within infinite love. And he offered himself as an example. I'm sure there will be differing opinions. Moscow says, we're going to eat my grandma's homemade meatballs on Christmas. It's the best meatballs ever. Nice. Enjoy. I'm sure you will. The best meatballs ever. You definitely got to enjoy that, right? Does she make them more than once a year? Eve says, hey to everyone in the chat. Eve, what a great time it was at your celebration, and a well-deserved celebration with the greatest MC of them all. Cody says, we stayed home with a cold last Christmas. Well, I hope you stay well this year for sure. He says, thank you, Yogi, for making my party amazing on Friday. It was my pleasure to be there. I absolutely loved being there. It was amazing. It really was. To see you celebrate and to see you be celebrated for a huge accomplishment. Cody says, I believe that the only time he wasn't connected with God the Father was on the cross. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. How close was I to getting that right? Easy says, I fully agree. I don't consider myself a Christian, but always feel a real connection to the Jesus story. I always come back to my studies. I absolutely love all things Sermon of the Mount. If someone says, I think that we should post the Sermon of the Mount on every school wall, I'd have no problem with it whatsoever. Moscow says, yeah, we make them together when I'm at my grandma's. Nice. What a great memory. Eve says, thank you, Yogi. Hey, Easy. I really hope you decide to dive deeply into the course and read through the text and do the lessons. It is the essence of the teachings of Jesus. It is how to do that deep forgiveness. It is how to love. It is how to recognize your own oneness with the source. Eve says, hey to Easy. Hey, you would really like Marianne Williamson's book, The Mystic Jesus. Sampa says, hey, Easy. I thought years ago that Jesus may have had an identical brother. It was just a passing thought, but it still comes back to me now and then. Interesting. Stuart says, Yogi, I sent you the link if you know anyone wants to come up. Gotcha. Goldie says, that's a nice memory to have, Moskva. It is, isn't it? Eve says, hey to Stuart. He says, hey, Eve. Carl says, goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Carl. Hey, if you ever feel like, if you ever feel the need to talk, Eve says, how are you, Stuart? Hey, Maddie. Maddie, how are you? Let's see. Easy says, I've heard that Eastern religions make a reference towards Christ. Is that true? In some cases, but not historically. Now, when I was following the teachings of the Self-Realization Fellowship, which was the teachings of Yogi Paramahansa Yogananda, on his, if you remind me, I'll bring it the next live stream, It's a panel, photos of Krishna and Jesus side by side, along with his teachers and Paramahansa Yogananda himself. So it says, trying, Eve, trying. Oscar, my friend, thank you so much. Oscar says, have a good day, Master Yogi. I'm having an excellent day, and thank you for making it even more excellent. Our friend Oscar just left a great, great gift. Thank you, my friend. Let's see. Semper says, I have to shoot. Eric, I'm monitoring till your next live. Just checked 700 plus, wow, in the chat already. Before it started, see you in a bit. Stuart, or I'm sorry, Squirrel Sniper, a moderator extraordinaire. He's moderating for a live stream, 700 plus in the chat. And he's done it for chats that have like, sorry guys, I think I blanked out there. Not me personally, but my phone. Miss Blipper says hello. Hello, Miss Blipper. Oscar says, no problem, Master Yogi. Speak your beautiful mind. Man, I absolutely love our community. The friends that we've made, the inspiration that we get. I often talk of Oscar being a joyful warrior. That when he dives in on his burpees, he's always joyful about it, even when he's deeply suffering. Goldie says, hi there, Miss Blipper. Stuart says, Yogi, can you send a link to Toy Pups? I can do that. Goldie says, hi there, Oscar. I'll be ending the live stream in about 5 minutes or so. I'm not sure if I'll see what I can do once I get off my phone, Stuart, because I'm looking at sending it now, and it seems I can't do it on a desktop. Hey, Dredson. Dredson says, aggressive blessings. Hey, thanks for being there this morning when I was doing my kettlebells. Much appreciated. Goldie says, enjoy Sniper. Easy says, after we refused to listen to his message, humiliated him, and tortured him, he still chose to forgive us. The way that moves me is indescribable. And more so, this is what he asks of us. And when we consider the smaller things that we have to forgive, when we look at our resentments, when we look at our grievances, when we look at all the judgments that we make, and we view the example that he set and the request that he made of us, how can we do, even as a non-Christian, how can we do any less than honor that? At least honor it in our attempts. And look at the nature of forgiveness. How he forgave. He didn't say, forgive them, Father, for the horrible things that they've done. Forgive them, Father, for the pain that they've caused me. He didn't say, forgive them, Father. They know exactly what they did. Punish them for a little bit, and then we'll forgive them. He looked directly at their innocence. Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. That was the most yogic statement I've ever heard. The entirety of yoga is seeing through the vacillation of the mind movement, which causes what I've described before, the 5 afflictions. We don't know who we are because we believe that we are the movement and the motion of our thoughts. Our thoughts are always grasping at things, always pushing things away, always have a false belief in who we are, what we're capable of, how we're connected to the source, and we see the world through the lens of those perceptions. Yoga says, still the mind through the process of breath work, asana, and meditation, and you will see your true identity. Buddhism gives you the Eightfold Path, how to do the same thing. Christianity, Course in Miracles, says the same thing, that it is our projections that are causing our perception of the world, and we living our lives within that perception, within an illusion, but they're very succinct. Jesus said forgive. Course in Miracles says forgive. And through forgiveness, because forgiveness takes us from that linear, I forgive you because, to the quantum, I forgive because in this present moment, there is only innocence. Without judgment, there is nothing to forgive. I let go. I forgive the judgment. So I love the simplicity of that path. I love the simplicity of forgive, forgive, forgive. Love, forgiveness, gratitude. Goldie says, I'm not going to argue my point. You know my opinion on Jesus and his identity and impact. Absolutely. And I've always enjoyed our conversations on it. Dresden says, for sure, got me motivated to do reps today. Nice. I'm glad my suffering could pay dividends. Let's see. Dresden says, I found a location, but the old carpet left my lungs and throat stinging scratchy. Oh, wow, I'm sorry. Goody says hi to Dresden. He says hi back. Then he says, a sub to you, Moss Claw. Thank you, Maddie. Hey, Mir. Mir, I hope you're doing okay. Mir says, hey, Sir Yogi, beautiful people. And Goldie says, yes, I love our conversations on it. Mir says, I hope you're doing well, our friends. All right, a couple more minutes. We'll sign off. I'm going to have Stuart up and listening. I may or may not be able to join in the conversation. I have a few things to take care of. Goldie says, keyword, conversation, not debate. Absolutely. That's what makes it so meaningful. Goldie and I see some key points differently, but never once has Goldie said, you're wrong for seeing it this way. She states her opinion, her beliefs, and she always states it so beautifully, with so much meaning and so much love, that it always gives me pause to consider, which is wonderful. Goldie says, I'm good, Mir. How about you? Miss Pippa says, I'm curious how Goldie sees. Easy says, me too, Miss Flipper. Goldie, would you wish to share? I would extend the live stream for another few minutes while Goldie comments if she wishes to. Dan says, me, your brother. Hey, Dan, you going to work out today? Mir says, hey, brother DH. Says, how are you, bro? Let's see. Poor man says, yeah, I might do some rest work live in a bit. Sun's out, guns out. Absolutely. Looks like you've had some nice weather. I think nice weather where Poor Man is in December is probably anything over 20 degrees. Goldie says, I see being a Christian as a way to live, showing the love of God without the pressure or need to convince anyone. Poor Man says, better than that, better than what it was. Take the sunshine. Yeah, I bet. Easy says, is the course a Christian book in your opinion, Eric? No, it isn't. However, hey, Joshua, it is in the language of Christianity, and it is in the voice of Jesus. But it has more in common with Buddhism and Vedanta than it does with traditional Christianity as presented. But you'll recognize a whole lot of key points explained differently. But yeah, the language throws a lot of people off. It threw me off. As I was coming from a Catholic background that I believed I had left largely behind me, why would I want to dive into the course when it was cloaked in Christian language? But there's a reason for it, and as you read it, it makes more and more sense. What it is asking you to do is to take Jesus as a teacher, as a wise older brother that takes you by the hand, that puts his hand on your shoulder and walks you home. It is asking you to accept the Holy Spirit, but you could also call the Holy Spirit the Tao or Krishna consciousness as your guidance system. This is what I talked about this morning, Easy. When you were talking about not knowing how. You don't need to know. You have an internal teacher that will guide you every step of the way. And the more you can surrender, the more you will surrender. And the more you will surrender, the easier it becomes. Joshua says, hello, Poor Man's Gym. Joshua, how are you, my friend? Goldie says, I know that I was given a gift to see God's love in my life, but I also admit that there are no two similar paths. Joshua says, slow walking with Goldie. Hey, Selma. Poor Man says, yeah, if you saw what I drive, Joshua, you wouldn't mess that up again. Maybe your friend Joshua was thinking of the book. I'm trying to think of the author's name. He did Rich Man, Poor Man, that they made into a miniseries in the early 80s. I enjoyed both I really enjoyed the book. Goldie says, hi there, Selma. Hey, Sharebear. Sharebear says, hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. God bless you. God bless you, my friend. Joshua says, I'm okay. I had a scary situation. I thought my sister was dying in the hospital, but my family is a bit exaggerated with their words. Wow, that would be scary. I'm glad it didn't turn out that way, Joshua. Goody says, hi there, Sharebear. And Joshua says, thanks for asking, Eric. Joshua, I've been enjoying your live streams in the morning. Joshua says, okay, Poor Man. Easy says, seeing Christ as a teacher takes the pressure off me from having to label myself any particular religion. I appreciate that. Absolutely. And the course is very explicit when they talk about that. They don't give you a label. As a matter of fact, in the end, you're basically asked to surrender all labels. Remember the beginning of the Tao Te Ching? The Tao that can be told is not the true Tao. Course in Miracles, they say, words are but symbols of symbols twice removed. Goldie says, I'm sorry for that scare, Joshua. Sharebear is saying hi to everyone. Format says, don't make a big income, but luckily they own property and low taxes, cost living. It's the same with me, except for the low taxes, unfortunately. My life would be set with low taxes. Joshua says, Eric, I'm glad you enjoyed the live streams. In my opinion, Joshua, you are a YouTube artist of the highest order. I might make a request in one of your dancing routines. Selma says, hi to Mir and hi to Share Bear. All right, just a few more minutes. I was going to end it, but some of my all-time favorite people showed up to hang out, so definitely want to spend some time. Selma says, happy because I have a boyfriend. Well, good. Goldie says, thank you for a lovely live and chat. And thank you for making it lovely, Goldie. Maddie says, bye, gotta go. I gotta go too in just a minute. Soma says, bye, Maddie's my cousin. That's right. How could I forget that? Soma says, Maddie's is my cousin. Foreman says, drop weight on my overhead press. Just doing dumbbells. 40 needs work. Man, I think overhead press is essential. Just putting some kind of weight overhead. Miss Pippa says, Christ is an interesting word. Greek translation of Messiah, anointed. I'd like to ponder what that anointing might mean metaphorically. Interesting. Hey, Greg. Greg, long time no see, my friend. ATC is here. What's good, legends? Hey, ATC. Hey, Skeeter. Skeeter says, everyone cheers, Brother Yogi. Hope you feel better soon. I appreciate that. It's weird that I don't feel bad, but I still have that cough and a little bit of congestion. Poor man says, so true, been neglected. It used to be the hallmark of strength. No one asked you how much can you bench press. It was how much can you put over your head? How much could you press? How much could you snatch? How much could you clean and jerk? Joshua says, Maddie's World, hello. So I would love to see Joshua power slam a yoo-hoo while he's dancing in one of his dance routines. I don't know if that's possible, but it would take someone amazing, and it would take someone energetic. And I think the one that could do it is Joshua. Goldie says, how are you, Greg? Skeeter says, howdy, howdy, everyone. ATC says, say welcome with Goldie. Poor man says, absolutely right. Big hole in the program identified. Nice. That's smart training, poor man. One of the things I really appreciate about you is how intelligent a trainer you actually are. Joshua says, ha, 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 ha. And I'll power slam the Yahoo while dancing tomorrow. I'm going to be on the lookout for that. I never want to be presumptuous enough to say, could you tag me so I don't accidentally miss it. But if you don't mind, if it's not too presumptuous, if you could tag me so I don't miss it. A dance routine from the amazing, energetic Joshua while he power slams a yoo-hoo. It's like Christmas is a week early for me. Adios, mana mi prama. Greg says, hey, Goldie, I'm here, but very hard time. I'm sorry to hear that, Greg. It's nice to see you again. We got some laughing from Joshua. Goldie says, I'm okay, Greg. Had a sea scare. Praise God, it's not that. Absolutely. Poor man says, feel the same about you and always learning from you. Thanks, poor man. That means an awful lot. Goldie says, so Greg, I'm sorry that you are having a hard time. Says, I hope you'll be fine. Goldie, you're a great person. She is a great person. Promade's cousin. Someone says, howdy, howdy, mate. Much appreciate you guys coming in. Format says, just realize how important tossing ego and dropping weight is. I talk about that fairly often at the end of my workouts. Ego reps versus training reps. Training reps will eventually get you to the point where your ego will go, wow. But ego reps lead you towards injury every single time. Cody says, Eric McCarty, can you please expand on it? I want Greg to know. Cody had a lump in her breast, which obviously is scary and is a possible cancer. Having it checked out, it's always a smart thing to do. Always do it on a regular basis. And it turned out that it was a mass. It was basically a blood mass. Am I right? And that it would be reabsorbed back into the body with proper treatment, which is vitamin E, vitamin A, on a regime for a number of days, and then taking time off, and then doing it again for a 3-month period. But it is scary when something like that. I think probably every person knows someone who has been affected by cancer, as well as breast cancer. Probably every woman's one of their greatest fears. So to be confronted with a lump, scary. But as Goldie said, praise God it wasn't that. Indeed. Greg says, my sister died from cancer. It sucks. Someone says, Goldie, prayers to you, girly. Poor man says, yeah, keeping up with Paradox and Leo with shoulder press. I'm just not there. Need to adjust, but you will be. You will be there shortly. Hey, poor man, when I was competing in kettlebell sport before I was ultra running, I would regularly train with the 32 kilograms, double 32s for the jerks and the long cycle, single 32s for snatches. I could regularly do 10-minute sets with the 28s. I competed with the 24s. It felt a little difficult to restart and to start with 12 kilograms to get the form down again, and to then go to the 14s. And then today I did 16s for extended sets, 3 sets of 3 minutes for the first time. I had to put the ego aside. I don't know if I can get back to where I was, or if I even want to, because that was a high level of training. But I do want to get better. I do want to reclaim some lost ground. The only way to do that, put ego aside, start at the beginning, work my way back up. Goldie says, thank you. Selma, he says, you're welcome. Goldie says, I'm sorry for stirring up old wounds, Greg. Says Selma, I'm getting by. Thank you. Greg says, it's not a problem, Goldie. It's sadly part of life. Joshua says, I hope everyone has a great day. You too, Joshua. Thank you. All right. So let's wrap things up, guys. I'll be back in about 3 hours. Joshua says, Goldie, I know a Goldie. Poor man says, finding holes in a program sucks, but tackling through frontal assault. It does suck, but if you're smart, which is what you are, you shore up those holes. And it's better to find it now than when it leads to trouble, you know? Selma says, I love you. We love you too, Selma. Goldie says, I'll be asleep. Sleep well, Goldie. Greg says, take care, everyone. Thank you, Greg. And welcome back. It's really great seeing you. Thank you, Miss Blipper. Goldie says, written Goldie, Goldie, or Goldie. Greg says, thanks, Eric. You're welcome, my friend. All right. So, I will see everyone. If you're around, if you got nothing to do, if you're bored, really, really, really bored, come on back. Keep me company. In about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, something like that. As well, our friend Stuart is going to be live in a bit. Dan said, Poor Man's Jim says he's going to be live in a bit. Who else do we have? You don't know. Oh, Brian's not going to be live, but he's going to be dropping a video of him doing bicycle ballet. Poor Man says, realize that's my problem all along. Too much weight, ego. Man, I'd love to talk about that if you're around on the next live stream. Because, Poor Man, that's such a huge insight. And not just for training. In every aspect of your life. Think about how much ego creeping in has caused pain, discomfort, suffering in your life. So when you realize it in training, you can also realize it in every other aspect of your life. And it's a game changer. Oh, Jace is live. Yep. I got Jace. I have him up right now. Thank you for that, Goldie. All right, so I'm going to be looking for you guys around the YouTube streets. Maybe we'll run into each other. My guess is that we probably will. And thank you. It is much appreciated you hanging out with me. Big, big, big shout out to our friend Oscar. Someone says she's having fun dancing with her boyfriend. Nice. Goldie says you're welcome. Poor Man says yeah. We can on next live later today. Awesome. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Take care. Shout out to Love Our Toy Pups. Absolutely, Selma.